The camera pans over a sprawling, glittering city in 2025. Neon signs reflect off sleek glass skyscrapers, their facades doubling as digital billboards. People crowd the streets, heads bowed to their glowing screens, their lives enmeshed in the invisible web of technology. The hum of drones fills the air as they zip overhead, delivering packages. Cars glide silently, their AI systems in control. Everything feels seamless, too seamless. Beneath this perfect digital facade, something sinister brews. Tom and Tuppence's office, a contrast in styles. Inside a cluttered office, the mood shifts. Paper files and coffee-stained notebooks are piled high on Tom's desk, while Tuppence's corner is sleek and organized, illuminated by a trio of monitors displaying lines of code, social media feeds, and encrypted messages. Tom Beresford sits in a worn-out chair, flipping through a physical case file. His brow furrows as he scribbles notes in the margin, clearly a man resistant to change. He grumbles as his phone buzzes with yet another notification. Tom, to himself, bloody technology, more of a distraction than a tool. Across the room, Tuppence, perched on an ergonomic chair, is glued to her screen. Her fingers fly across the keyboard, navigating through a labyrinth of data. She barely glances at Tom as she speaks. Tuppence, smirking, "You know, if you just embraced it, you might actually solve a case faster." Tom, without looking up, "Cases aren't solved by staring at screens, Tuppence. They're solved by looking people in the eye and asking the right questions." Tuppence rolls her eyes but smiles. Despite their differences, they balance each other out, a perfect blend of old-school instincts and new-age tech savvy. The call that changes everything. The phone on Tom's desk buzzes, breaking the banter. Tom hesitates before picking it up, his expression immediately darkening as he listens. He gestures to Tuppence, mouthing, "It's serious." On the other end of the line is Emily Rose, her voice trembling. The camera shows her sitting in her dimly lit apartment, a shattered phone screen on the coffee table in front of her. Her face is illuminated by her laptop, which displays a series of threatening messages. Emily, voiceover, I need help. Someone's hacked into everything, my accounts, my photos, my bank. They know everything. I've tried to ignore it, but now they're threatening to go public." As she speaks, the camera zooms in on the threatening messages. "We know your secrets, Emily. Pay up or the world will." Countdown, 48 hours remaining. The chilling countdown clock flashes red on her screen, creating an ominous glow in the room. Tom and Tuppence, take the case. Tuppence immediately starts pulling up Emily's social media profiles, her brow furrowed in concentration. Tuppence. She's not just an influencer. She's the influencer, millions of followers, sponsorships, a perfect life. Tom. Nobody's life is that perfect. Tuppence keeps digging, her fingers flying over the keyboard as she uncovers encrypted files attached to Emily's accounts. Tuppence mutters, "This isn't just a simple hack. Whoever's behind this is playing a dangerous game." Emily's dark secret. Tom and Tuppence visit Emily to get more details. She hesitates, her hands trembling as she tries to explain. Her apartment, once a symbol of success, feels hollow and sterile now, like a carefully curated museum of her online persona. Emily, tears in her eyes. "They're not just threatening me. They know things I've never told anyone. If this gets out, I'll lose everything." Tuppence gently presses. "Tuppence, what aren't you telling us, Emily? We can't help you unless we know the full story." Emily hesitates, glancing at her laptop, which still flashes the countdown. Finally, she blurts out, "Emily, there's something on my private server, something I thought was deleted years ago, but it's back and I don't know how." Tom and Tuppence exchange a tense glance. A warning from the hacker. Back at their office, Tuppence starts decrypting the files linked to Emily's case. As she digs deeper, the hacker strikes back. Suddenly, all three of Tuppence's screens flash red. A message appears in bold. "Stay out of this. This isn't your fight." The sound of static fills the room as the lights flicker. Tuppence freezes, her fingers hovering over the keyboard. Tom, calmly but firmly. What's happening? Tuppence, whispering. They're watching us. Suddenly, a second message appears. You have 24 hours to back off, or else. The camera pans to Tom's expression as the room goes dark, leaving only the faint glow of the message on Tuppence's screen. Cut to black. Cliffhanger. The hacker's threat looms large. What secrets does Emily's past hold? Who is behind the attack? And how are they so deeply embedded in the digital world? Most importantly, how far are Tom and Tuppence willing to go to uncover the truth? This opening sets the tone for a high-stakes cyber thriller, while leaving the audience desperate for answers. Let me know if you'd like to dive deeper into any specific scene. The digital crime. Emily sits in her lavish apartment, clutching her phone, as if it might bite her. Her face is pale, her makeup smeared from wiping away tears. Scattered around her are open bank statements, shredded documents, and a laptop whose screen blinks with threatening messages. Her phone pings. Another message. Hacker, anonymous. You think you're safe. Think again. Your world will burn in 48 hours unless you pay. The camera zooms in on Emily's trembling hand as she scrolls to a link. It leads to a folder containing her leaked photos, voice messages, and a suspiciously large transaction flagged in her account. Tears fill her eyes as she whispers, Emily, how? How did they get all of this? The camera lingers on a cracked mirror in the background, a visual metaphor for Emily's life shattering. Tom and Tuppence begin their investigation. Emily arrives at Tom and Tuppence's office, looking like a shell of her glamorous online persona. Her designer clothes and perfect makeup now appear to be a desperate attempt to mask her vulnerability. Emily, voice shaking, it's not just about money. They know things I never told anyone. They're in my head, in my life. If this gets out, I'm finished. Tom, leaning back, skeptical. And who exactly has access to all this information? Someone you've trusted. Emily freezes, avoiding eye contact. Tuppence, sensing hesitation, steps in with a softer approach. Tuppence, calmly. Emily, we need to know everything. Anything you hide might help them stay a step ahead. Emily hesitates, then breaks. She admits to having had secretive relationships, online connections she never revealed, not even to her closest friends. Peeling back the layers, Tuppence dives into Emily's digital footprint. Her monitors light up with a chaotic mess of data, social media timelines, encrypted messages, financial transactions. Tuppence, muttering. It's like her whole life is on display for whoever's behind this. They know too much, like they're watching her every move. Tom peers over her shoulder, unimpressed by the sea of data. Tom, it's too clean. Whoever's doing this wants us to believe it's all random, but it's personal. As Tuppence digs deeper, she discovers a pattern in the messages. Each leak coincides with private conversations Emily had with specific individuals: her assistant, her best friend, and her ex-boyfriend. The first suspect. Tom and Tuppence confront Emily's assistant, Lila, who looks visibly nervous when questioned. Lila, defensive. I didn't do anything. I mean, sure, I handle her passwords and emails, but I'd never betray her. Tom notices her hesitation. Tom, calmly. Then why are your recent purchases flagged with the same IP address as the one sending these threats? Lila stumbles over her words, trying to explain that she uses public Wi-Fi at cafes, but her alibi feels thin. Tuppence, aside to Tom. Either she's lying or someone's setting her up. The dark web connection. Back at the office, Tuppence breaks through layers of encryption, leading her to a dark web forum. The site is like a virtual den of thieves' anonymous profiles discussing blackmail, hacking, and data breaches. A post stands out. Thread title: High-profile target compromised. Clock is ticking. The replies reveal the hacker is working with a team and organized group specializing in extracting information from unsuspecting victims. The post even includes a cryptic countdown. 24 hours to full exposure. A secret life exposed. As Tom reviews the suspects, Tuppence pieces together clues from Emily's past. Suddenly, she finds a private conversation on one of Emily's burner accounts. The messages reveal that Emily had been secretly communicating with someone who knew intimate details about her life. Tuppence, to Tom. She wasn't just hiding relationships, she was hiding a whole other identity. Someone she trusted has been playing her for years. Tom stands, visibly agitated. Tom. So this isn't just about blackmail, it's about control. Someone doesn't just want to ruin her, they want to own her. The hacker strikes back. As Tuppence prepares to delve deeper into the dark web, her monitors glitch and go black. Suddenly, all the lights in the office flicker. A single line of text appears across all three of her screens. "You're in too deep. Back off, or you're next." The sound of static fills the room as the text dissolves into a distorted image, a live feed of Tom and Tuppence in their office, being watched through their own camera. Tuppence, whispering, "They've hacked us." The image on the screen zooms in on Tuppence's face, and another message appears. "You have 12 hours. The screen cuts to black. The camera lingers on Tuppence and Tom, their faces illuminated only by the faint glow of the now dark monitors. Cut to black. Cliffhanger hook. Who is behind the breach? How deep does the betrayal go? And can Tom and Tuppence solve the case before they're the hacker's next target? This cliffhanger amps up the stakes, adding urgency and danger to the mystery. Let me know if you'd like to explore any part further. Unmasking the real culprit. Tuppence's fingers fly across the keyboard, navigating through layers of encryption as the faint hum of servers fills the office. Lines of code reflect in her glasses, the tension thick in the air. Tuppence mutters, "I've got a lead." Whoever this is, they slipped an IP address pinged from a secure server. It's a shell, but it narrows things down. Tom, pacing behind her, crosses his arms. Tom, a shell. You're saying it's fake. Tuppence, not fake buried, but they're good, almost too good. The room goes silent as Tuppence's screen lights up with a location. The camera zooms in on the blinking dot. TechSphere Innovations, a high-profile tech firm downtown. Tom, TechSphere, isn't that where Emily's old mentor works? Tuppence leans back, her lips pressing into a thin line. Tuppence, Charles Gregory. Tech genius, pioneer in cybersecurity. And apparently, he's still in the game. A meeting with Charles Gregory. Tom and Tuppence walk into TechSphere's sleek, futuristic office. Employees hustle around, oblivious to the undercurrent of suspicion. They're led into a pristine boardroom, where Charles Gregory, a charismatic man in his 50s with silver hair and piercing blue eyes, greets them warmly. Charles, smiling. "Tom, Tuppence, I've heard of your work. Emily's in good hands with you." His confidence is disarming. He sits at the head of the table, fingers steepled, as if he's holding court. Tuppence, bluntly, "We traced the source of the blackmail to a server linked to this firm. Care to explain?" Charles raises an eyebrow, feigning surprise. "Charles, that's a serious accusation. Do you have proof?" Tuppence slides her tablet across the table, showing logs of activity tied to TechSphere's server. Charles studies it calmly, then leans back in his chair. "Charles, impressive work, but it's not me. I'd never do something like this to Emily." His tone is measured, almost too rehearsed. Tom narrows his eyes, studying Charles like a hawk. Tom, coldly, "Maybe you wouldn't, but you'd know who would. Someone with access to your systems, perhaps." Charles chuckles, the sound hollow. "Charles, you're welcome to dig around, but you won't find anything here. My hands are clean." Cracks in the facade. Later that night, Tuppence dives into Charles's personal and professional history. She uncovers whispers of lawsuits, terminated employees, and an unusually high turnover rate at TechSphere. Something doesn't add up. Tuppence, to herself, "Charles isn't just a mentor, he's ruthless. He'd do anything to protect his empire." Meanwhile, Tom reviews Emily's connection to Charles. He finds old photos on social media, Charles and Emily at tech conventions, smiling like a father-daughter duo. But one image catches his eye. Emily, Charles, and Aaron Finch, Emily's ex-boyfriend, standing arm in arm. A rift between Tom and Tuppence. Tom and Tuppence's long hours begin to take their toll. Tom frustrated. We're chasing ghosts. Charles is smooth, but he's not the one behind this. He's too detached. Tuppence, snapping back. You think this is about intuition. We're dealing with data, Tom, not gut feelings. The tension between them rises as they argue about their approach. For the first time, a crack appears in their partnership. Tuppence, softly. Maybe this case is too much. We're trying to fight a system we barely understand. Tom looks at her, a flicker of doubt in his usually steady eyes. The real hacker is revealed. Determined to get answers, Tom and Tuppence visit Emily again. Emily's apartment is eerily quiet, the lights dim. On her coffee table, a single envelope sits with their names written on it. Inside is a USB drive. Tuppence plugs it into her laptop, and a video begins to play. It's Aaron Finch, Emily's ex-boyfriend, addressing them directly. Aaron, on video, mocking. Hello, Tom. Hello, Tuppence. By now, you've realized this isn't about money, it's about control. Emily thought she could move on, but she was wrong. I gave her everything, and she threw it away. Now I'm taking it back. The video cuts to footage of Emily videos and photos taken without her knowledge. Aaron's voice continues as the camera pans to Tom and Tuppence's horrified faces. Aaron, on video. You're too late to stop what's coming. And don't think you're safe either. I'm watching. The ultimate betrayal. Suddenly, Emily's phone rings. She hesitates, then answers. Her face drains of color as a distorted voice speaks. Hacker, distorted voice. It's not just you, Emily. They're next. Tom's phone buzzes simultaneously. He looks down to see a message. 12 hours. TikTok, detective. Cliffhanger hook. The hacker has revealed their true identity, but the game isn't over, it's only just begun. Who is Aaron working with? Why is he targeting Tom and Tuppence? And can they stop him before their own lives are destroyed? Exposing the truth. Tom and Tuppence sit across from Charles in a glass-walled room overlooking the city skyline. The rain outside streaks the glass, creating an eerie ambience. Charles looks calm, his hands clasped, but his eyes betray a flicker of unease. Tuppence, placing a file on the table. We know about the dummy server, the data trails. You may have hidden your tracks, but not well enough. Charles smirks, leaning back in his chair. Charles, you're wasting your time. I run a legitimate business. Whatever you think you've found is nothing more than coincidence. Tom studies him intently, his fingers tapping the table rhythmically. Tom, with quiet intensity. Coincidence doesn't explain why an encrypted message from Emily's hacker originated from your private server, or why your employees have been accessing her financial accounts. Charles stiffens slightly, but keeps his composure. Charles, if someone in my company is involved, I'll handle it internally. But don't try to pin this on me. Tuppence narrows her eyes and slides a photo across the table. It's of Charles with Aaron Finch, Emily's ex-boyfriend, shaking hands at a tech conference 2 years ago. Tuppence, you know him, don't you? For the first time, Charles's calm facade cracks. His jaw tightens. Charles, evasively. I meet a lot of people in my line of work. Aaron was a client, that's all. Tom leans forward, his voice razor-sharp. Tom, a client who's been blackmailing Emily, and using your resources to do it. You're either lying or you're complicit. The tension in the room is suffocating. Charles glares at them, but before he can respond, Tuppence's phone buzzes. She glances at the screen and her face pales. The hacker's message. The phone screen displays a live feed of Emily, bound to a chair in a dark room. A distorted voice speaks through the speakers. Hacker, you've gotten too close. Walk away or she pays the price. The feed cuts off, leaving the room in stunned silence. Charles looks genuinely surprised, but Tom doesn't trust him. Tom, to Charles. If you're not behind this, prove it. Help us find her. Charles hesitates for a moment, then nods. Charles, if Emily's in danger, I'll cooperate, but you're going to owe me. The real culprit revealed. Following the hacker's digital trail, Tom and Tuppence arrive at a decrepit warehouse on the outskirts of the city. The air is thick with tension as they cautiously enter, flashlights slicing through the darkness. In the center of the room, they find Emily alive but terrified. Aaron Finch steps out of the shadows, his face a mixture of smugness and bitterness. Aaron, mockingly, "Took you long enough. I almost thought you'd never figure it out." Tom keeps his flashlight trained on Aaron, his voice steady but cold. "Tom, it's over, Aaron. Let her go." Aaron laughs, the sound echoing eerily. Aaron, "Over? Oh, no, Detective. This is just the beginning. You think this was about Emily. She's nothing but a piece on the chessboard." He steps closer, pointing to a laptop on a nearby table. The screen shows a massive transfer of funds, paired with private information from multiple high-profile individuals. "Aaron, I've already won. This isn't just about hair, it's about control, money, power. And thanks to Charles's little tools, I have everything I need." Emily gasps, looking at Charles in shock. "Emily, you helped him." Charles stammers, his guilt evident. Charles, desperately, "I didn't know it would go this far. Aaron came to me for access. I thought it was just business. Never said it was about you." The twist. Just as Tom moves to apprehend Aaron, Tuppence's phone buzzes again. It's another message, but this time it's from someone they least expected. The message reads, "You're wasting time. Aaron is a pawn. The real game is much bigger than you know." Tuppence's eyes widen as she scans the text. Attached is a file containing evidence implicating someone within their own circle, a person who has been feeding Aaron information all along. Tuppence whispers, "Oh my God, it's not just Aaron. There's someone else, someone we trusted." Tom glances at her, alarmed. "Tom, who?" Before she can respond, a loud explosion rocks the warehouse. The screen goes black as chaos erupts, dust, debris, and the sound of sirens in the distance. Cliffhanger hook. As the dust settles, Tom and Tuppence find themselves alone in the wreckage. Aaron and Emily are gone. The evidence on the laptop is destroyed, and the message on Tuppence's phone flashes ominously. Game over? Not yet. The digital game of cat and mouse. Tom and Tuppence sit in a dimly lit room, their faces illuminated only by the glow of multiple computer screens. The atmosphere is thick with tension as they sift through fragments of destroyed data retrieved from the warehouse explosion. The hacker is one step ahead, leaving them chasing shadows. Tuppence, typing furiously. The encryption is insane. Whoever this is, they've covered their tracks better than anyone I've seen. Every breadcrumb leads to a dead end. Tom, studying a digital map on one screen. "We're missing something. There has to be a pattern, a weakness we haven't spotted yet. Everyone makes mistakes, even the best." The clock ticks loudly in the background, a reminder of how little time they have. Suddenly, an alert pops up on Tuppence's monitor. It's a live feed of citywide bank servers being compromised, triggering panic across the financial district. Tuppence, in shock. They're not just targeting Emily anymore. This is massive. They're siphoning millions from high-profile accounts and no one's even noticed yet. Tom stands abruptly, his voice sharp. "Tom, if they pull this off, it's not just about money, it's leverage. They'll own secrets that could topple governments. We need to find their endpoint before they disappear completely." Tuppence's phone buzzes. It's another message from the hacker. Hacker's message. "Still playing catch-up, Tuppence. You'll never beat me. You're fighting a ghost." The taunt ignites a fire in her. Tuppence, through gritted teeth. "A ghost, huh? Let's see how long you can stay invisible." The betrayal. While Tom analyzes financial trails, Tuppence receives a new encrypted message on her personal device. The message isn't from the hacker's usual signature, it's different, almost familiar. Message reads, "Tuppence, this isn't just their game. It's yours too. Look closer. You've been part of it all along." She stares at the screen, her heart pounding. Along with the message is a series of photos and documents from years ago, linked to her early career in tech. One image freezes her in place. A photo of her with an old colleague, Max Caldwell. Max had been her mentor and close friend, someone she trusted deeply. But here he was, in the middle of encrypted data exchanges with Aaron Finch and Charles. Tuppence, whispering to herself. Max, no, this can't be real. The photos are time-stamped, showing meetings and transactions between Max and known cybercriminals. It's as if the hacker is planting seeds of doubt in her mind. Tom notices her distress and walks over. Tom, gently. What is it? What did you find? Tuppence hesitates, her voice shaking. Tuppence, it's Max. If this is true, he's been part of this from the start. Tom's expression hardens. Tom, we can't jump to conclusions. This could be another trap. But Tuppence is already spiraling. Memories of Max teaching her the ropes, their late-night brainstorming sessions, and his unwavering support flood her mind. Could he have betrayed her all along? Determined to find the truth, Tuppence hacks into Max's old server. What she finds chills her to the core. Encrypted communications between Max, Charles, and Aaron, discussing Project Athena. Blueprints for a program capable of infiltrating secure systems globally. A video message from Max, recorded years ago, where he cryptically says, "If you're watching this, Tuppence, it means I failed. Or maybe, I succeeded. Either way, trust no one and not even yourself." Her hands tremble as she replays the video. Tom looks over her shoulder, his jaw tightening. Tom, this isn't just about Emily or even Aaron. This is bigger than anything we imagined. What the hell is Project Athena? Before they can delve deeper, all the screens in the room suddenly go black. A single message appears in bold red text. Message. Curiosity killed the cat, Tuppence. Do you really want to know the truth? Cliffhanger. The room's power flickers, and an eerie silence fills the air. Tuppence's phone rings an unknown number. She answers cautiously. Hacker's voice, distorted. You were always the smartest, Tuppence. That's why I chose you. Her blood runs cold. Tuppence. Chose me? What are you talking about? Hacker, with a sinister laugh. You'll see soon enough. But first, let me show you how it feels to lose everything you care about. Suddenly, Tom's laptop pings. A live feed shows their safe house's location being broadcasted on the dark web with the caption, "Two detectives who think they're untouchable. Let's see how long they last." Tom and Tuppence exchange panicked looks. They hear distant footsteps growing louder. Someone is coming for them. The screen fades to black as the camera pans to the door, which begins to creak open slowly. Final hook. As the door bursts open, the screen cuts to Tuppence's horrified face. The last thing the audience hears is the distorted voice of the hacker. Welcome to my world, Tuppence. The atmosphere is electric as Tom and Tuppence enter the hacker's lair, an abandoned tech office at the top of a skyscraper. Flickering fluorescent lights cast eerie shadows on the walls, lined with rows of servers humming ominously. The office feels like the heart of the digital beast, a place where secrets are created and destroyed. Tuppence carries a backpack filled with gadgets, while Tom clutches a flash drive containing a virus they've designed to disable the hacker's network. They've traced the signal to this location, but the air feels heavy with danger. Tuppence, whispering, scanning the room. It's too quiet. This feels like a trap. Tom, gritting his teeth, determined. Let them try. We're ready this time. Suddenly, the large monitors on the walls come to life, revealing the hacker's distorted face. The voice echoes through the room. Hacker, mockingly. Well, well, look who made it to the final level. Too bad it's game over for you. The doors lock behind them with a metallic thud. Red emergency lights begin to pulse as the hacker activates security drones. Tuppence quickly deploys a jamming device, temporarily disabling them. Tuppence, frantically, we don't have much time. If this virus doesn't work, they'll wipe everything clean. As Tom uploads the virus into the system, the hacker fights back by remotely triggering a countermeasure, forcing Tom and Tuppence to dodge sparks flying from overloaded servers. The room becomes a battlefield of technology versus ingenuity. In a tense standoff, the hacker's voice becomes more frantic, signaling that the virus is taking effect. Hacker, you think you've won? This is just the beginning. You'll never stop what's coming. Tom, with a smirk, as he presses the final command. We just did. The virus spreads through the network, collapsing the hacker's entire operation. The monitors flicker and go dark, and the hum of the servers dies, leaving an eerie silence. The arrest and unmasking. The authorities, tipped off by Tom and Tuppence, arrive to secure the scene. The hacker is captured, a shocking reveal, as the mask comes off to reveal Emily's ex-partner, Aaron Finch, but he wasn't working alone. Behind him stands another figure, mastermind behind it all. Max Caldwell, Tuppence's former mentor. His face is calm, almost smug, as if he had anticipated this. Tuppence, staring at Max in disbelief. Why, you were like family. You taught me everything. Max, with a cold smile. And you learned too well. But this world isn't about justice, Tuppence. It's about power. You're either in control or you're nothing. The betrayal cuts deep, but Tuppence holds her composure as Max and Aaron are taken away. Lingering doubts. The case is closed, but the victory feels bittersweet. Tom and Tuppence stand side by side on a rooftop, watching the sunrise over the sprawling city below. The skyline is a mix of glowing lights and dark shadows, a metaphor for the digital world they've just confronted. Tuppence, softly. We stopped them, but it doesn't feel like a win. The system they built, it's still out there. And there are more like them, waiting. Tom nodding, after a moment of silence. We can't change the whole system, but we can fight it one step at a time. We have to. If we don't, who will? Tuppence looks at him, her expression a mix of determination and exhaustion. Tuppence, you're starting to sound like me. Is the great Tom Beresford finally coming around to technology? Tom smirking. Let's just say I'm learning to trust it, when the right person is behind it. They share a small, knowing smile. Despite the challenges, their partnership has only grown stronger. Hint at future cases. As they leave the rooftop, Tuppence's phone buzzes. It's an anonymous message, just like the ones from the hacker, but this time, it's different. Message. You stopped one. But the web runs deeper than you know. Let's see if you're ready for the next level. Attached is a link to a mysterious file labeled Project Nexus. Tuppence, showing the phone to Tom. Looks like we're not done yet. Tom glances at the phone, his jaw tightening. Tom, then we'd better get started. The camera pans out to show the city buzzing with life, a digital jungle of endless possibilities and dangers. The credits roll as the sound of a computer, booting up echoes in the background, teasing the audience with the promise of more mysteries to come.